When you travel the world for a year, you see and experience so much, and we want to share our daily travels with you. Unfortunately, a hard drive failure means we have to tell the middle a little bit differently. So, welcome to Storytime with the Happy Hoppies in this edition of The Lost Episodes.
Welcome to the shadow episodes, where we have lots of shadow on this side and don't have a fill light at the moment.
But I said it's kind of appropriate for what we're filming. So, welcome to
Tunisia!
Country number
41!
41!
Woohoo!
What? Oh my goodness. Okay, so since we had met up with our friends in Greece, they had told us about Tunisia, told us how amazing it was, and that they were able to see so many of the Star Wars scenery and sets. And so as soon as Peter heard that, he was like, yes, we've got to go to Tunisia and see these Star Wars sets.
So Tunisia is about the size of Florida, so just put that in perspective. And while we were there is in a travel warning level 2 at the time. I'm not sure what it is now, if it still is, maybe it's down to a 1. They were trying to get down to a 1.
We should look.
Anyway, oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, so it actually still is a level 2. You can go to travel.state.gov and you can look up the country, and that was really helpful. And we only went to 2 level 2 countries, and there's a reason that it's a level 2.
More on that later.
Yeah.
A beautiful country.
Beautiful. It's still beautiful.
Loved it. We would definitely go back in a heartbeat. But learn a few things and we give you a few tips to help you travel safer. When we got into Tunis, the capital of Tunisia, it was really early in the morning. It was
3 a.m.
Yeah, 3 a.m. So we had a couple hours we had to wait before we could pick up our rental car, and we didn't want to go driving anywhere anyway in the middle of the night when it was still dark. So we went out, found a bench or something to lay on, and just kind of laid down, hugged our bags, and took a nap.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping that we would have been able to stay on the other side of security before we had to exit, but that wasn't an option. So we had just flown from Malta. We left there at 2 a.m., so it was only an hour flight, and it was only $162 for both of us to fly that little route. And that's the reason we went from Israel to Belgium to Malta to Tunisia, because flying from Israel to Tunisia was $350 more than that route. So anyways, and yeah, hugged our bags, and I put my eye mask on, got my earplugs in, and fell asleep until 7 a.m. when we had to then get the rental car. But fell asleep. I mean, we could hear people around us, even with my earplugs in. People were taking pictures of us. They were laughing at us. I mean, we probably looked like a sight for sure. All these locals what are these tourists doing just sleeping here?
They've seen it before.
Yeah, it was just
We've seen it at other airports. People do it everywhere. It's totally normal.
Yeah,
people just lay on the floor and sleep. I mean, it's here in the States.
Right.
It's everywhere. So Tunisia was one of the few countries that at the time was not covered by T-Mobile. I think it might be covered now, but at the time it wasn't included with our T-Mobile plan. So we had to get a local SIM card, and it was really cool. When we got to Tunisia, as soon as we arrived, before we even got to the baggage claim part, there was this wireless provider that was giving every passenger a free SIM card. You get that, and it gives you, I don't know what it was, 100, maybe 500 megabytes of data to start with. And then you can go out and you can go pay to upgrade, and it was $7 to $10.
Yeah.
It was about $9 or $10 to be able to upgrade to a couple of gigs. So we did that just to be safe. We didn't want to run out somewhere and then be trying to find a place to up our limit. And that was the easiest time getting a new local SIM card activated. Later in India, we have a different story, but here, amazing.
It was amazing. They had it. They were on a roll with that. So then we got our rental car. It was fun. The guy had Hoppe, so I think it was the first time that our name was written on something, and we're like, ooh, yay, we feel like we belong here. So then he got us a rental car.
I don't remember the name of the rental car company. I should look that up.
Oh, right, because it wasn't a normal one.
That's why it was different the way it was done.
Book it through Ryanair, and you booked it ahead of time, and because you booked the flight, you got a deal. Because we recently booked a Ryanair flight, then they gave us a deal. We think we got through Ryanair. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, so it was a different one we weren't familiar with before.
But it worked out great. Good experience. Dude was really friendly and nice. And anyway, got our car and took off to Sidi Bou Said, which is kind of a suburb of Tunis. And it was really pretty. We got there, right around sunrise, so perfect lighting. And you have all these like blue doors and windows and with whitewashed walls for the buildings. And then purple and pink flowers and some red, like
so
everywhere.
pretty.
It was so amazing. And then little views of the Mediterranean here and there.
It was really, really narrow roads though, driving up through there. And then we went through like this like neighborhood and we got like some pretty pictures of the beach, and yeah, it was really nice, and it was really quiet at the time of the morning because it was super early. It was, just after like 8 o'clock. I guess it wasn't super early, but we were still like exhausted because we just didn't sleep at all.
So then we drove down to Carthage, because Carthage, that's just something I remember from the history books, right? It was a notable like stronghold city. I guess, I don't know if it was for the Roman Empire, no, for the Ottoman Empire, one of the empires, but in the north of Africa. But anyway, so Carthage, I think they had like a lot of seafarers that would wreak havoc on others around, other nations and whatnot. Anyways, notable place. Yes, I'm not a history nerd, I don't know a ton, I can't give you all that. You can look it up.
Or you can leave a comment if you know kind of more of the history of Carthage.
So we went to the Carthage National Museum and just kind of took a few pictures through like the fencing of some of the ruins. Didn't actually pay to go in and like wander around because you can kind of see them from the fence. And again, Lisa's not a big fan of ruins. I could see enough from there. And then drove down to, what was
Hammamet?
Which is kind of known for a beach area.
They had a Medina and a Kasbah. A Medina is basically Old Town, and Kasbah is more like the citadel and kind of like the center of the Old Town.
When you look up Medina on Google, it says it's the old Arab, non-European Old Town. So they make that distinction, but yeah, basically it's Old Town.
Yep. And so anyways, we go to park, and it's free parking as far as we can tell. There are no parking meters, none of that. But this guy like stops us and demands that we give him money. But he
asks for it.
He doesn't tell us how much money. It was really weird. So later we found
he might have suggested a price, and then I offered him something less.
Something less, I think. Anyways, because he was kind of guiding us into this spot, and like Peter's like, I can parallel park, but so what we found is that there were people in Tunisia that kind of created their own job. He took it very seriously, but this is just a job.
Like a safety vest,
yeah,
a whistle.
Yeah, this is the job that he has self-created to get money. But he does a really good job with it. But we were kind of like, well, do we even need to pay you? We're really confused. Looks like free parking. But we gave him some money so that way he wouldn't ruin our car while we were exploring. Anyways, so there was another person, like a tourist guide kind of thing that had solved that interaction. And so he kind of just like pegged us right away.
Sucker, we can get money out of you.
Plus, we definitely look a lot different than the typical North African. And so you can pretty easily spot us. We're very white. Anyways, so we go down, there was like this beach, taking some pictures, but that guide that had saw the interaction with the parking attendant, he approached us and he's like, I'm gonna give you a free walking tour of the Kasbah.
Or I don't know if he even said that, but he's like, here, let me come show you this. It's like really cool. And we're like remembering our experience back in Morocco. And we're like, no, because you're gonna want money at the end, and we don't want to do that. We're just wandering on our own. We don't need that. Thank you. We're trying to be nice and like have a little bit of a conversation, but not like follow him too much.
So here's the thing though, is like he kept being persistent. I was like, I'm gonna show you this, I'm gonna show you this, free, whatever. But we knew, we had that experience in Morocco. I'm getting a tour. He said it's free. We'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's what we call the Medina.
Yeah.
You are hungry now.
This is the first one in Kasbah.
Our guide brought us. We only ordered one mint tea because I don't want to eat here. I have another restaurant picked out from TripAdvisor, but time to get off on our own.
Okay. Bye.
Sorry. well, we got rid of the tour guide. I kind of feel bad. We tried to give him money, but he said it wasn't enough and just gave us the bird and went on. And this is what we love, to be on our own. I don't like having to be told where to go. And we didn't ask for a tour guide, like seriously, it was one after the other. And he was on the phone with another person too, so he was also gonna drop us off with another person. No, we're not going to make you upset with us. We are just going to ignore you. And so as nicely as you can, you just ignore them. And so, I mean, it's terrible, unless you really wanted to, but we had a lot of things we were wanting to see, and we didn't want a free tour. Anyways, so we were kind of following him because he was actually going the direction that we wanted to go through the Casbah because we wanted to see it. The frustrating thing is I just like to like explore things at my own pace and be able to see things and experience things. And so we wanted to go in the Casbah, we wanted to experience, but we kind of cut our time there short because this guy was kind of annoying.
So I think at some point, like, he went around the corner, and then we just kind of like backtracked and
booked
took
into the
off.
car. So then we drove down to, is the next place the hotel? Because we were so tired. So we had been planning to drive farther that day, but because we were just so exhausted, we ended our tour day early, and we went to this 4-star resort, and it was only $45, and that included a dinner buffet and a breakfast buffet.
And they were amazing.
It was really good. Yeah, it was awesome.
So when we got there, we got checked in, and then went and explored the grounds a little bit, took some pictures. And, you know, it was really nice. Obviously a 4-star resort, very, very nice. But it did look like it had seen its peak, you know, in a previous time. A lot of the lights were not on inside of the hotel. And so it kind of looked a little bit sad, kind of depressing a little bit in some spots. But, you know, the decor and the light fixtures were very nice. And you go outside, there's this really nice pool area. We went down to the beach area. They had a little putt-putt golf down close to the beach. Very, very nice. And again, the food was amazing. The buffet and the staff, I mean, very well done. Everything was super nice. But you can definitely tell that they were kind of hit from a lack of tourism, or tourism had gone down a couple notches since, you know, some stuff had happened a few years earlier with a terrorist attack.
So in 2015, at a similar resort, there had been a terrorist attack, and that was specifically towards tourists. And then things that have happened, you know, around that and since that time, that is why Tunisia is a level 2 country. But they have definitely upped the security, you know, for those resorts. We felt very safe there, and that is why there are fewer Western tourists going there right now, and they have really seen a decline in tourism because of those attacks, which is sad.
And we'll talk more about it later in some of the other videos. But definitely overall, our feeling that we got was that it was super nice. Everybody was very friendly. One of the friendliest countries and friendliest people anywhere in the world that we experienced in our 62 countries. This is in like the top 5. So
I would say top 3 even.
So amazing. Like, we loved it. We would definitely go back.
Yeah.
But again, we do have some tips coming up later. Don't want to give too much away yet, but do have some tips coming up later for what you can do to go and enjoy it and enjoy all the wonderful things that are there to enjoy.
A lot of enjoyment coming up. We will see you in the next video. Bye.